Most of the fitness influencers you see online are lying to you. And here is why. Either they want to sell you their own program or they just lack the knowledge. And here is the truth. Whether you're doing 2 sets or you're doing 4, 5, 6 sets, you will grow muscles. And this is solely because our body responds differently to training. The number of sets that might be working for me might not be working for you. The number of sets that might be working for you might not be working for someone else. This is because we are genetically built different. Anybody you see in great shape and the person is telling you that he or she does 2 sets, the person is not lying to you. Another person doing 4 sets, the person is still not lying to you. These are what is working for them. However, most of the people you see online try to tell you that because 2 sets is working for them, the other person doing 4 sets is just doing a bunch of nonsense. And this is what I want to cancel out. Whether you're doing 2 sets, whether you're doing 4 sets, any number you're doing actually works. The only thing you need to understand is what works for you, what is best for you. You see, when I first started working out, I just used to do a lot of copy and paste. Okay, I go online, I see a lot of people, I try to copy what they are doing. After a lot of years, I spent over 5 years trying to get in shape, trying to figure out what actually works. I found out that none of these things actually works. Now what I tried doing is, from the knowledge I already gathered from the internet, I tried experimenting with myself with a lot of reps, a lot of sets, lower reps, and a lot of that. And boom, I just understood what actually works for me. That's why in my one-on-one coaching programs, I don't just put you on the program I do because I'm not sure if it can actually work for you. What I and my team does is, in the first 4 to 8 weeks, we experiment you with a lot of exercises, different exercise routines, just to find out what your body accepts, what works for you. And that might take about 8 weeks or 12 weeks. If we find out what works for you, then you now stay consistent on what works. And if you want to join my one-on-one coaching program, you can check the description box. We've got our email there. Email us the word ready. Then we'll see if we're a good fit to actually work together. Now let's get back to the video. A lot of people, they go into fitness, they luckily start seeing results, they luckily start building muscles without struggling. People like us will struggle, like I said, for 5, 6 years. Because they are lucky, they think that other people doing something different are crazy. That is them lacking knowledge, or they are just being overly greedy for you to get their coaching program. That's why in this video I will be dissecting for you the number of sets you should actually be doing, what determines the number of sets you should be doing, and also what allows you to understand what works for your body. So let's jump right into the video. When we are talking about the number of sets we should be doing when we are working out, there are 3 important things that determines what we should be doing. I've been working out for over 10 years now, and almost half of these years I did trials and error. If you check around me, I've got no scripts. Every single thing I'm telling you is what I have tried and it has failed. So I'm not going to tell you about any 1960 studies, purely on what I have experimented. So there are 3 important things that determines the number of sets you should be doing per exercises, and one of it is effort, second is intensity, and lastly is volume. These are the 3 important things that determines how many sets, how many reps you should be doing on each exercise section. And we are going to be going into this one after the other. Let's start with effort. What is effort? Effort is how much you are willing to do per unit time. How much you're willing to do while the time is ticking. So in 1 minute I can do more, in 1 minute you can do less. That's effort. Now let's go to intensity. Now when you're talking about intensity, we are primarily looking at whether or not you train to failure when working out. So if you're training to failure, you're doing high intensity. If you're not training to failure, you're doing low intensity. Like me, training to failure is a bunch of nonsense. Like, there is a whole lot of disadvantages that comes with training to failure. But I'm not saying if you train to failure you can't build muscle. I'm here to tell you the truth. Training to failure, you will build muscle. Not training to failure, you will still build muscle. Don't let anyone confuse you. It's just what you are willing to do. Like me, why I don't train to failure is because most exercises will just have you injured. Think about doing your bench press with a lot of weight and you're able to push that bar up. What happens? It smashes on you. Now let's talk about doing squat. When you go to failure without proper squat bar, or maybe you don't have any assistance, that can be detrimental to your life. So that's why I don't even go. I live like 3 in the tank and I'm still in great shape. So don't let someone confuse you. Now intensity means whether or not you train to failure. What is volume? Volume is just how many repetitions you do, how many sets you do. Let's say you do like 10-15 sets, that's high volume. Let's say you do like 50 reps, 100 reps, that's high volume. So when you bring the number downwards, that's what low volume. So what determines the number of sets you should be doing? Don't forget, should it be 2 sets? Should it be 4 sets? Now there are two major things that determines the number of sets you do, which is volume and intensity. Effort is constant. I don't know how much you're willing to do. You don't know how much I'm willing to do. What I'm willing to do might be different from what you're willing to do. If you're going to train with high intensity, you're going very close to failure. You don't need high volume. That is where you do your 2 sets. If you're going to do 2 sets, you have to go to failure because you've got only 2 shots. If you're messing around with your set, you can't build muscles. Think about doing your squats and you're going close to failure and you want to do like 10 sets. You will crash out on the 5th set. However, you still have like 4-5 exercises you're still going to do. You see, that doesn't work. So if you're gonna do close to failure, keep the volume low. So high intensity, low volume, that's where your 2 sets comes to play and you will grow muscles. Now if you're going to do low intensity where you don't go close to failure, that does not mean you shouldn't push yourself. You still have to push yourself in a way that your muscle gets stimulated, but I still give some 2 reps, 3 reps out of failure. So that's doing low intensity. Now you have to increase the volume. That's the number of sets you do. If you're going to do low intensity, your sets should be high, like 4 sets, like 6 sets. You will still build muscles. So how many sets should you be doing? 3 things to determine it: effort, intensity, and volume. That is what determines what you can do at the gym. See, there is no cap to the amount of muscles you can build in the gym. Once you're energetic, you will keep getting bigger and bigger. The only hindrance you have is your genetics. If your genetics say, hey bro, we're gonna stop here, you can't exceed it unless you're doing steroids, which I don't recommend. If your genetics say, bro, this is where we are gonna stay, and you are still here, you can grow as much muscles you want. So be free to experiment with a lot of things. Most people, high volume do not work for them. You can do lower volume. Experiment, know what works for you. Like I said, every single thing I say about fitness, I don't copy it from anywhere. It was like 6 years ago I copied people on the internet, but right now I come here, I tell you this works. I don't care what someone else has to say because I have built my physique. This is what I used to be previously, and this is what I am now, and you can see it. So I'm not here to whine my mouth. Like I said, in my one-on-one coaching program, what we do is within the first 4 8, most times even 12 weeks, we're still experimenting you with different exercise patterns, with different routine, just to find out what works best for you, depending on your effort, your genetics, and what we are seeing visibly. Before we give you a structure, you now have to stay consistent with, because most times consistency does not do the whole work. You need to be consistent on what works. And if you want I and my team to help you achieve the kind of physique you want, check the description box there. We've got our email there. Email us the word ready, then we'll see if we're a good fit to work together. So guys, this is it. Never overcomplicate getting in shape. It's as simple as anything. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do well to subscribe, like the video. Let me know in the comment section what you like to see next in the channel. I'll get back to you on the next one.